Hey, I'm just gonna get to the point. I'm pretty happy right now, and I'm gonna share how I did that. The footage you're seeing in the background is Astronaut Dog, a dog that I drew back in high school. I'm gonna get that as a tattoo. But yeah, here's how I became happy. Maybe you could use this. Maybe you can't. Maybe it's a situational thing. Maybe it'll only work for me. It could work for you. I don't know, but just hear me out. One day, I was walking around campus, and I saw a smiling Asian man. That smiling Asian man made me very happy. After all, smiles are contagious. So after seeing that happy Asian man, I became pretty happy. I was smiling on my way to class. And I was in a pretty good mood. I noticed that. The next day, I saw a guy who looked like Indiana Jones. That made me very happy. I smiled. I was in a good mood for the rest of the day. I noticed that. The next few days while I was walking to class, I decided I'd try and smile a bit more. And coincidentally, I've had much better days at school. I've been a bit happier. Science suggests that smiling can improve your mood, and I found that to be true. I mean, some people might just think it's power positive thinking, but no, it's backed by science. It worked for me. That might work for you, I don't know, but give it a shot. After all, everybody looks a lot nicer with a smile on their face. Like, take it from me, I have resting bitch face, I'm not gonna lie. I always look angry. I always look bitter. So when I smile, I don't look happy. I don't show my teeth, because I don't like my smile that much. I just give that classic children's smile where you just sort of grin with your lips closed. And I look normal, but I know that I'm smiling, and I feel happier because of it. You could try that out, maybe that'll work for you. But this is a thing that I really want to get at. A lot of times, if you're sad or depressed or angry or something, you'll have people telling you to just be happy. Alright, how do I do that? Like, it's not that simple. And that's why I understand that I'm not just gonna magically cure the world through this one video, but it's just a very quick little tip that I noticed helped me out. It's important to know that the problem with depression, social anxiety, and things like that is that they are mental illnesses. That is to say that there is something medically wrong with your brain, and that's why therapy is important. If you have medication, you should probably take that. It's very important that you seek professional help. I'm sure that your friends and family want to do their best, but a lot of times they could say something that might go the wrong way. A snarky little comment or something, or an underhanded snide remark. It might do a lot more damage than they think it does, and it might do more damage to you because you overthink it, because you don't see the actual reality of what's going on. And this is important. Mental illnesses alters the way that people see reality. And this is what I'm trying to get at. While driving to school one day, I thought about something that I learned in my sociology class. This idea of the noumena and the phenomena. We've all heard of the word phenomenon, but in sociological terms it means something a little bit different. It means our human perception of reality. The noumena is the actual reality, what actually goes on. I'm going to use myself as an example. I was never actually diagnosed with anything, so I wouldn't know if I actually had depression or social anxiety or not. It's very important that if you feel like there's something wrong with you, you try and get help. Because that's why we have people, good people, whose only job is to try and help you. I'm going to leave some links down in the description for some resources, but in my case, since I was never really diagnosed with anything, I don't know if I actually had depression or if I was just sad for a very, 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 very long time. And here's why. Let's call it a rough patch. My rough patch was very rooted in self-doubt. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of people. I didn't like anything about myself. I didn't really like the way I looked. I hated the way I sound. I still kind of do, but I'm trying to get over that. I hated small things about myself. My teeth, my face, my body shape, because it's very awkward. It's very long and thin. I never really liked it. And that's what I thought everybody else thought of when they thought of me. All my imperfections, the things that are very strange about me. But here's the thing. You see more of yourself than anyone else will ever see. You know exactly what you are. You know all of your imperfections, and so what ends up happening is you focus on your imperfections, and to you, those imperfections seem a lot worse than they actually are. You focus so much time on them that over time, they progressively seem to get worse and worse. This is the phenomena. The reality is that sure, you might have some slight imperfections. That's normal. Nobody's perfect. You live it, you work it. But what your brain does by exaggerating these imperfections and making them appear worse to you, that's the phenomena. Here's the reality, the 100% true, actual reality. You're not as ugly as you think you are. You're not as annoying as you think you are. You only think you are because there is something wrong with the way you perceive reality. And so what I'm trying to get at is that a pretty good way to be happy is to start to distinguish between reality and your perception of reality. This is important. Reality is proven by science, it's proven by fact, by information, by data. That's the phenomena. The phenomena isn't. Science exists to close the gap between phenomena and noumena. If you have one person tell you one nice thing about you, you might write that off as phenomena. That's just one person's altered perception reality of me. If you have 5 people saying nice things about you, you might still say that's the phenomena. That's just what 5 people think about when they think of me. And that's where the gap between the phenomena and the noumena begins to get larger. Having friends, having people around who tell you nice things about yourself should make you feel good. And if it doesn't, that's because you're altering the reality being presented to you. You might think to yourself that this person is lying, or that they're only just trying to make you feel better. And this is another case of the phenomena acting against you. The reality is that once a bunch of people start saying nice things about you, it's probably true. The reality is people have a tendency to tell the truth. And I only use the word probably because, again, I don't want to accidentally say something that I believe is true and have it only be my own perception of reality, or rather my own distorted perception of reality. But this is just something that can be backed by information. So yeah, I hope that helped. If I said something that sounds horribly wrong, I'm really sorry. I tried to explain this as best as I could, and if something came off wrong, well, I'm really sorry. Send me a message and be like, hey, you could have said that better. And I'd be like, okay, how? You know, if it didn't help, I hope that it at least gave you something to think about. Smile more often. And remember, you're a pretty good person. If you feel like you're not, you're probably wrong. If you feel like you're not, you're just not viewing the reality of the situation. And if you think you are viewing the reality of the situation, try and remove that altered perception. Try to always remember that there's a possibility that you could be viewing something through a warped perspective. I hope this helped you. I'll see you kiddos next time.